Howdy ho, good neighbors. How are ya? It's Phil Russert, and it is launch time tonight. We have another Kickstarter. I know you're probably tired of all my Kickstarters, but I'm not. So anyway, um, I have some cool guests on tonight that have been a huge help in what we're going to be doing tonight, and the focus is this book right here. It is "The Devil's in the Details," and it is my first prose book that I've ever ventured into. Um, we're not going to be a long show tonight; it'll be about an hour. But we'll also be talking with our guests about what they're doing and the things they're doing. But we're going to talk about this. I'm going to launch it live in just a few minutes. I ask that everybody please share this out. Come along for the ride. Come hang out with me. Greg Johnston, what's up? I hope so, Greg. Greg has read this book. He was one of the beta testers, so to speak. He's not a beta male; he's just a beta tester. But anyway, um, so Greg can tell you his thoughts on the book. And the reason why I ask Greg is because, like my editor, he's an honest person. He's not going to placate me. He's not going to tell me it's great because I don't want to hear that if it's not true. Because you won't get better if people just placate you. I don't want to be the person on American Idol that can't sing and is too stupid to realize that because everybody told them they were awesome their whole life. I don't want to be that person. So I needed my editor to remind me how much I suck to get better. So he didn't do that, but he's awesome. He's very straightforward. We're going to get into that. Elston Christopher, what's going on? Um, Thank you. Elston was another reader. Real quick, and then we're going to get into everything. This is my first prose book, and it gets a little more deeper and involved, as one of my guests will tell you, because the first story is going to be adapted into a continuation into a comic series, of which Greg has read the first six issues and scripts as well. Greg said, "No bull. These stories are great, especially Withered." Thank you so much. I really, really sincerely appreciate that, and I appreciate that you mean that. So we're going to launch this tonight, and we're going to get into it. And this is the book. It's 86 pages total, but 74 pages of story. It's got a lot of different elements to it. So anyway, all right. Without further ado, I'm going to pull on our guests. Now, hopefully, a few more people come in tonight while we're doing this, and we'll share this out. First, I would like to introduce one of the wonderful artists that I have the great privilege of representing and befriending. He's also the illustrator on the Withered comic book. Hey! Wow, look who showed up. Is it, I don't know how to pronounce your name. Is it Jabin or Yabin? I'm sorry. I apologize. But it's good to see you, my friend. One of my favorite people online. He's just a cool dude. I like what he posts. I like what he has to say. Thanks for coming out and hanging out, man. So without further ado, where there's a will, there's a way. Yukon Cornelius Pleydon.
Hi, how you doing?
What's going on? And you'll understand why I call him Yukon Cornelius in a few. Anyway, how are you, man?
I'm good. I'm good. Good to be here.
And Will is actually got on his draft board right now the sequentials he started for the Withered comic book. Charles W. Morgan, how are you? Thanks for coming on. Charles is an awesome individual. He's going to be fulfilling his campaign very shortly. So congratulations to you on Cold Cutter. Very cool, Charles. Our next guest is a writer, an artist, an art teacher, an editor, a book layout person or formatter or whatever the hell you want to call them. I think he's a jack of all trades and master of everything he does. He is a cool dude. You know him as J.M. Desantis. I know him as the Overlord.
That's not right. That's not true. That's not true.
JM is the editor on the book, and he formatted the book. This book is because of this man. So I want to say thank you sincerely. I mean, Will did a beautiful cover, and thank you to Will, of course. But I didn't know what I was doing. I was so stupid and blind, and Jeff he had the patience to walk me through everything, and he made the book happen. I couldn't even go to a printer. I wouldn't know how to do this. So thank you.
No, you're you're welcome. And I know some people have. It's a steep learning curve, and I just.
It was steep.
I'm the type that just I'll dive right in and figure it out. But I also will take like 10 years of research to finally get the guts up to do it.
I don't have the patience. I wanted it done yesterday, and you made that happen. George is here. Roy is here. What is going on? Thanks for coming out, guys. So I'm going to be sharing this out in some posts, so I apologize if I'm looking down. So we're going to launch in a minute as soon as I share this out. But as far as we'll start with Will. Where'd you come up with the concepts for doing we knew we were going to do a painting. I knew I wanted to do kind of like what's the term, a montage, I guess, like elements like Star Wars posters and stuff had all the different elements. So I mean, obviously it took characters from the stories, but where did you come up with this specific kind of layout and composition?
Well, I suppose the initial, your initial couple of reads through the books and the stories, you get a lot of visuals sort of happening in your head anyway. It's very, very evoking of sort of visual storytelling when you're reading it. So I was always thumbnailing, jotting notes down as I was sort of going, but we kind of knew going into it, we kind of really wanted that Drew Struzan sort of 80s movie poster montage where there's some zoom ins, there's some zoom outs, almost like a movie poster. So having that in mind, really it was then coming down to color choice and where our focus was going to be. Really wanted to do that very angelic sort of Baroque or Renaissance style sort of background clouds and a painting and the angels and demons fighting in the distance. I remember us discussing that and then just coming up with an armor that suited Michael on the top of the page and that was really the focus. So yeah, it was sort of trying to build that aesthetic from that period of time in art, but also then having the influences of what we grew up with as movie posters as well.
I can't draw a stick figure straight, but without a ruler, and even then it kind of slips. But I think I do have a good understanding of art and who's the right person for the job. And right away, I knew that you had to be the one to paint this cover. So first of all, thank you for that. I appreciate that. And it was funny because I'm like, all right, comic books and prose books, they're totally different. I mean, totally different. There's little things that if you don't know, you're going to make a disaster of things. And right away, I knew, again, Jeff has written a lot of books that he formats and takes care of himself. I mean, he does everything. And I started asking him questions, and I'm not a patient guy. I want it done yesterday. As you can see, I put books out in like 3-4 months. They go from 0 to in your hand. So, so God bless you, man, because I know I was getting on his nerves. He'll say I wasn't, but I know I was.
I mean, maybe there's times, but I always try to like swallow that and just be like, this person doesn't know what they're doing. Just like, I try to.
That right there is a perfect testimony to why he is the editor you need. He's honest. He is what an editor needs to be. Editors they're not there to be your friend. They're there to tell you what you're doing wrong. I mean, essentially, they tell you what you're doing right, but they're supposed to be telling you what needs to be fixed, right? And, you do that with tact, but you do it very honestly. And
right. Well, for what it's worth too, I think it's important when you're editing something too, like a lot of people will say this, but you have to allow the writer the room to do it their way. Like when I edited the book for you, like I gave you some suggestions, and sometimes I'd type out a scene just because I knew you were kind of new to the prose writing stuff, and I would kind of give you some examples just to kind of help guide you, but like nothing was ever like set in stone. Like I was going to get frustrated with you if you didn't take a suggestion, because I mean, at the end of the day, my job as the editor is just to help you tell, like, to achieve your vision and tell it in the best way you're able to, so.
No, you were great. I mean, and working with you was smooth because he would send me back the Word document with highlighted issues, whether it was grammatical or it just didn't make sense or I was redundant, and I had a few redundancies in there.
We always do it, though. I do it too.
But you see, I had no ego. When you came and told me, look, this is, this needs to be fixed, or this is, I didn't get upset. I didn't get bent out of shape. I was like, all right, I mean, it needs to be fixed. It needs to be fixed. you felt I should have fleshed out a few characters more. I went back and I did that, and you were right. It filled out the story. It made it more relatable. Yeah, I mean, I think for an editor to be successful, the creator, the writer, needs to be open minded
Right.
and thick skinned, and just, it's not personal. It's not saying you suck. It's saying this is how you get better. So hopefully I wasn't, an issue when you came with critiques. So.
No, actually, I mean, I hope I keep the editing job with you, but if anybody else gets hired, and is thinking like, do I want to work with Phil? He's pretty easy,
I
as far as
appreciate that.
critique. Yeah,
I'm a pain in the ass, big mouth Irishman, but I have no ego.
Yeah, but don't forget, I'm part Irish too, so it's all right. I can. I'm in the right room.
Joe Ryan, what's going on? Thanks for coming out. Greg said, kudos to you for putting up with me. That's true. He probably had to go to my wife as a life coach.
Oh my God.
John Kotsis won the contest to read the manuscript.
Oh.
And he was John is another one that's very honest. He read Tragedy, and he gave honest feedback, and I appreciated that greatly. And so you can trust people when they tell you something is good, when they're honest to tell you when they think it needs work. So thank you for that great book. I recommend it highly. You don't want to put it down. You just want to keep reading. Thank you so much for saying that, John. By the way, John, feel free, or anybody else that's in there, drop your links to what you're doing, whether it's Greg's band, John's art, or publishing companies. I always encourage that no matter what the show is about, okay? John J., what's going on? Thank you, man. Looking forward to things in your future, John. I won't talk about them, but looking forward to it. Charles said, beautiful artwork to Cornelius. And he said, huzzah! Okay. And Greg wanted to know how many highlighters we went through.
Oh, well.
There was a lot of mistakes in the beginning. I'm not going to lie. He came back and, there was a lot I had to fix. I was new. I was raw. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just writing what I was feeling. And, I mean, I'm sure that, I could be more refined. But trust me when I tell you, Jeff did so much to help me just make a better book all around. So,
well, I think we started the first edit was more grammatical, and then actually no, because I only sent you. I went through it twice myself, but the first time I went through it, it was just getting through the grammar, and the spellings and stuff like that, which was fine. But I had to do it 2 passes, different things I was looking for when I did it.
Yeah, I mean,
but
for Greg, me, it was like. What's that?
No, I was just going to say, Greg, I didn't use any highlighters. It was all in Word, just the highlight button. So
it was digital highlighting.
Digital highlighting.
I'm gonna launch it now because I know some people are waiting. I hope you guys stick around. And look, I'm going to be totally honest with you. I'm very fortunate to have a loyal, supportive supporters, and I've been very successful with Tragedy, more than I could have imagined. And honestly, there are days where I just don't know how I got so lucky that people want to buy that. This book was never intended to be anything but me just cathartically writing and seeing what I could do prose. But I was told by people I should really just try to Kickstarter, to put it on Amazon, to do something with it. So I said, okay, I don't have high expectations for this campaign. I really don't. I kind of wonder if it'd be my first campaign that doesn't succeed. But I do want to tell you that what's written in there is honestly written from the heart of a 50-year-old man that posed quite a few questions after a rough life. And this isn't a marketing ploy. This isn't me getting sympathy to launch this and you jump on. I just want you to know that it's very sincere to me what I wrote in here, and there's a lot of me in there. But there might be a lot of you too. All right? Because there's a lot of, we all have a lot of questions. We all have a lot of concerns, or we all have disappointments. We all deal with that roller coaster that is life. And I think that you might be able to, this might resonate with you. You might relate to it. But you only know if you read it, right? So I'm going to launch it. in the famous words of Kenny, huzzah! We have launched. Okay, so I don't know who's my first backer. So congratulations, your project is live. Yeah, congratulate me if we fund. So look, it's a $500 goal. It's a 20-day. It's just going for the 20 days, 3 weeks. I didn't see the need to drag this out 4 weeks. Plus, I didn't want this to drag into your holidays. I know people. Oh, somebody pledged already. Thank you. I know that holidays are coming up. The economy's tough. I know money's tight. It's $10 for the ebook, and it's $12 for the physical book, which also comes with the ebook. So you get both editions for the $12. And we also, I'm going to get into it, we have Will Pleydon art commission tiers as well, limited to 4 if you're a lover of his art. And if you're not, it's probably because you just haven't seen it, because the man is amazing. Dude, I complimented you. Just go with it, okay? So,
yeah, thank you.
So I'm going to play the trailer. Now, I'm also surrounded by great talent with Rob Powers, who did the logo for me and the lettering on the cover. And he did the trailer for this campaign. So I don't know what my talent level is, but I think my superpower is finding the right talent to surround myself with. And that's probably the only thing I can give myself credit for. So without further ado, here is the trailer to The Devil is in the Details.
You have faith in spirit. Has life had you questioning how and why bad people exist? Why we slave at jobs we hate, or why bad things happen? Do you look inward at what motivates you to keep moving forward despite the hardships of life? These 7 short tales explore the many possible reasons and motivations in an interesting and fictitious way. You don't need to be religious to enjoy these tales that intend to inspire. We may not have all the answers, but these stories make you think of possibilities.
That wasn't part of the trailer. That was Jeff clearing his throat.
Oh man, I'm sorry.
That wasn't a grizzly bear, just so you know. Oh wow, we've got 2 backers so far. Thank you so much. It's all right. Come on, it's fun.
I didn't realize my mic was still on.
They try to be so polished and they worry about these things. No, it's all right. People try to be so polished and put on this persona and this sense of perfection. I don't give a crap. We all fart, we all poop, we all piss, we all cry, we all love sex, we all it's just humanity. So you go ahead and growl. The back of the book is actually different than this. I didn't switch it out, but let me show you. Will was able to illustrate something else for me, just light coming from the dark sky. So the back is actually different. I do want to let you know, too, this is going to eventually go to Amazon or some sort of publishing, and it'll get a barcode. But when you back the Kickstarter, you're going to get a very rare first printing without the barcode. I don't know if that matters to some people, but if I ever become big or if anything happens, you're going to have the first edition of this book without a barcode, which is pretty cool.
Good spot for a signature there, Phil.
I was about to say that, a signature, or I can remark for you. It'd be the best horrible thing you've ever seen.
I kind of want to see that. I want to see that.
All right, yours is getting one of yours is getting a remark.
I want angel wings on it.
You're gonna get angel wings now. Don't worry about that. You're gonna be cursing me out, but you're gonna. Okay, so I'm not gonna reread this because that was what Rob narrated in the story. But there's that handsome dude. Probably about 60 pounds ago, but there's that handsome dude. And then there's Jeff himself, looking so regal in the snow. Look at him. He's pondering. He's pondering thoughts.
I had to get my author picture,
Deep thoughts with Jeff Desantis. Then we got Yukon Cornelius. Yes, baby. He saved New Year's Eve.
I put it on my resume. Don't worry.
I'm going to tell you this. Will has quickly become one of my favorite people in the world. And it's not because I love his art and because I love what he's doing for tragedy and everything, for Withered and everything. But just we have we're friends. Conversations we have, things on the side. We're invested in each other's people. And I enjoy just our talks. Never mind the fact that we get to work together and talk about storyboarding and everything. It's a lot of fun, and Will's a great professional. So look, if you go to the site, I give you synopsis on all the stories and like a casual chat in a small Midwestern town. Actually, let's start with Withered. Sorry. What if you were on your deathbed after living a life of faith and discover time wasn't what you thought it was and things aren't as you always believed? What if time wasn't a measurement or construct of the human mind, but a malevolent being slowly consuming us? So there's a science fiction element to this book. There's a fantasy element, supernatural, and it's also very spiritual. Um, it doesn't try to be preachy. I'm certainly not trying to preach at you. Whatever your belief or not is perfectly fine. I never try to tell anybody what to think or believe. I'm not into controlling. I'm not into preaching. I'm simply just using biblical entities and people in a fictitious kind of way. Now, Withered right now is being illustrated. It's going to continue in a comic series. I've got the first 6 issues scripted, and Will roughed out the first book, and he's working on pages now, which we're going to show you some stuff. We're going to show you some sneak peeks for that. He looked as was that okay, Will? Because your eyes went up like, oh, we are we?
I guess it's happening, isn't it?
All right. Then there's a casual chat. In a small Midwestern town is a diner with 2 very unusual guests. Imagine that this life we lead isn't really the place between heaven and hell, but in fact, it's one of those realms. A rash decision. Many of us have contemplated giving into our pain and ending it all, but we have been taught that taking one's own life is a sure way to eternity of damnation. Some never gave life a fighting chance before quitting. What lies on the other side is the question we all ask, and the fear of the unknown is what keeps some from making a rash decision. The seduction. Imagine working hard to achieve your dreams and finally attaining them just to have them ripped away from you in the blink of an eye. What would you be willing to do to get them back? What would you be willing to sacrifice? In his image. I'm going to be honest with you. Withered is my favorite, but in his image is probably the closest to me and how I felt. So when you read, if you read in his image, you're going to get a deep insight into me. I don't know if that's good or bad. I don't know if you'll recover, but as we grow older and reflect back on life, we accumulate knowledge. With that knowledge come more questions. Why do we lead the lives we do? We miss the daily beauty this world has to offer as we slave away at work and responsibility, always longing for something more meaningful. Questioning God's plan is often on our minds. What if you finally got the answer? In due time, it is said there is nothing more powerful than a mother's love and affection for her child. What about the sacrifices a father is willing to make for the ones he holds dear in his heart? Many men suffer silently for the sake of their loved ones. How far will the father go? A mother's love. Mother is the name for God in the lips and hearts of little children by William Makepeace Thackeray. That was his quote. It was also used in The Crow, as you're probably aware. What lengths will a mother go to save her child from the clutches of death? What sacrifices will she make to ensure her child's prosperity? Would she face the devil himself? So these are the quick synopsis of the stories. I hope they intrigue you and interest you. And then I do give you a sample of my writing, the first 8 pages of Withered. That way, I want you to be confident in what you spend your money on. I know money's tight. I know the economy sucks. I know there are some awesome booby books out there. But, I mean, I want you to be confident that you're spending your money on something you feel confident would be up your alley and everything. So I wanted to give you a sample of the writing. And if it's not for you, cool. All I ask is that you share it out, let people know it's there. Maybe tell that friend that is into spirituality and things of that nature or supernatural, and maybe they'd be interested. That's all I'd ask. Thank you so much for that. So John J. Bam. I'm the first one on board, baby. Let's go. Thank you so much, John. John's been a huge supporter. He's been a good guy, a good friend. I look forward to meeting you in person someday. He did these awesome posters for me for Tragedy. You should go check out John's website, too. John, drop the link to your website. Really cool if you're an art fan. Thank you, Carlos. Carlos said the beautiful artwork. Charles said so cool on the back. Nander Fox Schaefer, thank you so much for backing it. I really appreciate you. Nander, drop your links and everything. Nander is he's launching his next book of seasons coming out soon, and he just wrapped up a Kickstarter for his second book. I'm sorry, I'm losing track of the name, but go ahead and drop any links, my friend, and let everybody know. He's got a cool trailer with a really awesome song in it, so you should go check that out for Seasons. Seasons Volume 3 of 4. Obviously, there's 4 seasons. So, and I don't mean the 4 seasons like they're gonna start singing and anyway. Just see if people are awake. There's the beautiful cover by Will. Oh, let me take that off. Sorry. Okay. Stretch goals. If we reach the $750 mark, I'm not expecting to, but if we do, you get a beautiful paper bookmark illustrated by Will from the cover. If we were to hit 1,500, we get this beautiful metallic angel versus a demon bookmark that Will painted. These are all painted illustrations, just so you know. Will really went all out for me. I really appreciate you. And this looks awesome in metal. I mean, you could just see how it's going to look. It's going to be amazing. And then if we had gotten to 3,000, which again, I don't expect to, but if we do, comic size print of his beautifully painted cover. And that's as simple as that is. Now, I do want to show you, it's real simple campaign, 3 tiers. You've got $10 for the ebook if you're a guy that likes to read on your phone or tablet, or a woman. $12 for the paperback version, which is right here. And you still get the ebook with the paperback version. You'll get both versions if you back the $12. Maybe these are good stocking stuffers for someone in your family for the holidays, I don't know if I can expedite it before then. I doubt it, but you could say it's coming soon. And then we have an original art tier by Will Pleydon. It's 11 by 17, full figure of choice, inked with a background of choice, full background. We ask that you don't give us your own creator-owned IPs. I apologize, but people wind up turning them into covers, and that's just not acceptable because cover rates are different. And there's other things that go on with the cover. So, but we'll do any fan art, things of that nature. So there's that. It's limited to 4, but if you commission the art by Will, I am giving you the ebook as well. So that $250 also gets you the ebook. You'll still get to read it, and you get the original piece of art by Will. Okay, limited to 4. I'm going to show you some of Will's art if you haven't seen it, and we're going to show you concept designs for the comic for Withered because it's just badass. All right. So where are we at? $210 already. Wow, thank you so much. We're almost halfway there with 7 backers. I thank you so much, everybody who backed so far. I really appreciate you so much. Sincerely, I don't know what to expect from this. Look, it's kind of it's a hard thing, right? Because there are a lot of people in the world that are very religious and read the Bible and they go to church and they might find this blasphemous. And then there are people that they're atheist or they're agnostic and they may feel this is too religious for them. So I fall in that weird limbo, but I promise you, it's spiritual, it's uplifting, it's motivating, it's not preachy, and I'm certainly not looking to disrespect or be blasphemous to anyone who's of faith and believes, and reads the Bible. It's none of that. It's just stories. All right. So that's my spiel, and that's where I'm going. We lost half our audience, so I bored everybody to death. Well, they saw what they wanted to see and they moved on. That's okay. I appreciate that they came out even to just check. So I want to show you some concept art from Will Pleydon that him and I worked on. We both co-created the designs. My character, but we co-created the design. So this is Archangel Gabriel. And again, this is the really amazingly talented Will Pleydon. If you can get past his ego, it's really good. It's no, I'm just kidding. He's so easy to work with. Will is that artist that brings more than just his pencil, his line work to the table. He offers, without overstepping boundaries, he offers up ideas. He's very specific and methodical in how things work and make sense. He pays attention to detail, and he takes direction as the publisher, as the writer, as the creator, with no ego. But he also helps me, with ideas that I go, you know what, that works. That's a great idea, and we worked and collaborated well together in the designs. So Archangel Gabriel, and again, this is all my take. It has nothing to do with any biblical or historical accounting of these beings. It is all made up. Archangel Gabriel in this story is the arrogant, flamboyant, but lovable character. Right, Will? I mean, would you say that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And he's awesome because every feather on his wings are armor plated in the comic. He's a badass. And there are just some great scenes that you're going to see illustrated by Will in this book that are very dynamic. Also, I want to let you know that if his schedule permits, Alex Sinclair will be on board to color the book. So there's that. All right. Imagine Will with Alex.
No pressure. No pressure.
Yeah, please. You guys will compliment each other. Here is Archangel Michael. He is the Captain America of the team, so to speak. He's got to make the hard decisions. He's the honorable, noble, archangel that he leads, inspires you by his actions. He won't ask you to do anything that he won't do himself. He's that being that you look up to, and he's certainly been doing this the longest, and he's battle worn and he's tired because the great war is coming. God has been imprisoned, and this thing that we call time is slowly devouring everyone, and they're trying to save the human race from oblivion, and they're trying to free God. And through all this, the archangels, they've never been human, so they don't understand humanity, but yet they're fighting to save them through saving God. And Joshua, who is the character in the short story, he teaches them what it means to be human while he's learning to be an angel fighting in this war. So there's a lot of human dynamic. There's a lot of relationship building, character building. It's also, there's loss, and there's dealing with that loss in this book. So it's just, Greg, if you're still there, you read the 6 issues. Will hasn't read all 6 yet, but whatever. So feel free to be honest with your thoughts. If you didn't think it was good, then all right, just don't say anything. No, I'm just kidding. If you don't think it's good, say it's no good. That's fine. Everybody's welcome to opinion. So Will and I were going with, we wanted to have a uniform kind of thing going on with the armor, but specialized to each character's personality with a certain uniformity to it, right? So now we've got Archangel Raphael. Now, in Christianity, we always refer to these 3 archangels, but there were actually technically 7, and there was a female archangel. We're dealing with these 3. You'd have to read the story to find out why. But Raphael is the more brooding of the group. He's not like a negative Nelly, but he's he's like a thinker. He's going to sit back, and while you're all doing your talking and barking or whatever, he's going to take it all in, and he's going to contemplate it. He's going to weigh it. He's going to, do you think I'm explaining it right, Will? What would you say?
Yeah, absolutely. He's like the strategist. Yeah.
I mean, he's the one who's really going to think about it, as opposed to Gabriel's like, oh, okay, water, let's jump in, and
right.
And Michael has to think along the lines of what's best for the greater good, where Raphael is going to think of all these angles and really contemplate and study. Then we've got Cherub. You may say, oh, look, it's the baby from Valentine's. Well, believe it or not, there is an angel Cherub. And there's a little bit of comic relief with Cherub, but Cherub is also an angel, so Cherub is not to be taken lightly. And you know, I love the movie Excalibur, and right away I thought of armor for him would be similar to the helmet from Mordro. What was this? King Arthur's son's name. There's Morgana and her son Mordru. Mordru, that's it. You leaving? You going to bed? Good night. I love you. Sleep well, sweet dreams. God bless. Say good night to everybody.
Mordred.
Mordred, yeah.
Yeah.
Sleep well, sweet dreams. God bless. I love you. See you in the morning.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
That was Bear. Or Little Mighty if you get the dynamics in January. So we went with the leaf design here, and just he's a baby. It's really hard to armor up a baby, but you know what? We did it. We armored up a baby. So very cool. Again, look at Will's detail. Look at what he can do. Just the rendering, the shading, the texturing. It's amazing. Will's on 3 books. He's doing legendary portraits. He's character designs. He's actually Nander Fox Schaefer's here. We're working with Nander. I hope I was allowed to say that. Sorry, Nander. I won't say in what. And here is Joshua. Joshua was a human recruited into this before being consumed by this malevolent being we call time. Time is not a construct of the human mind or measurement. It is actually a malevolent being that is draining our life force over time. Some of you may say that's like your spouse, but no, it's not. It's actually this malevolent being. So we went with, the same similar, with a very similar cosmetic design here. Because he's a new recruit, we really didn't have a moniker or a crest for him. But so yeah, that's Joshua. Now we get into the baddies. Here's a lesser demon. So here's where Will comes in wonderful ways, because Will actually came up with an idea that inspired me for a very key element in the story. And let me tell you, when you put your ego aside as a writer and you listen to your artist, you'd be surprised how they can inspire you to come up with stuff. So if you look at this lesser demon, I basically gave him the concept of what I wanted, and then he added a few touches of his own. And one of those is the burned hand mark on the head. And Will said he thought it'd be really cool. Well, you explain. What was your thinking with that, Will?
I suppose it's very much like the some of the scriptures, the mark of the beast, and I thought, what better way to lean into that sort of horrifying idea than having it burned into the head of whatever creatures are being incarnated by the devil character. So as a lesser demon, it walks around with the mark of the beast burned on its forehead, on the top of his head. So it becomes part of it, who it is. Yeah.
And we wanted to make them genderless. At this point, they aren't a human. They're a beast. They're genderless. Yeah. They're just this thing. And that mark of the beast, I thought it was a wonderful idea, and I told him to keep it. And it sparked a whole important plot line for me that is going to further this book and make it more interesting. So again, if you're a writer, please put your ego away if you have one, because your artist can bring so much more to the table than just drawing what's in your mind, because you may have your visions and stick strong with your convictions, but sometimes it sparks an idea that really resonates with you as a writer. So listen to them, respect them. Yes, you're hiring them and you're the boss per se, so to speak, but collaboration can just really bear a lot of fruit. That's all I'm going to say. If you want to chime in, Jeff, please do.
No, I'm just looking at all the cool art. I mean, I think it's great. I love this.
Yeah, Will's awesome, and this was fun. Yeah. This one, I have to say, is probably my favorite illustration from him. I told him, and this is Ball. Cool. I told him I want Ball to be overweight, gluttonous looking, and I said, think in terms of the Hercules Disney cartoon. What's his name? Played that. He's like a pan character. What do you call
Danny
him?
DeVito. Danny DeVito's character.
I said, don't make him look like that. But you know how he had the hoof feet and he was overweight? Take that kind of concept and turn him into this monster. My wife just told me we funded. Holy crap! Did we fund? Did we fund already? Is she teasing me? We didn't fund. Sorry. Oh my God!
Congratulations.
Guys, I
Well
can't
done.
believe we
Yeah,
funded. I did
that's
not
really
expect
good.
to. Thank you so
Well-
much. Thank you.
40 minutes. Well done.
Wow, thank you guys so much. It had to be a Will. They had to pledge on Will. They had to. Yes, they did.
Come on.
One backer pledged on Will. Awesome. Listen, thank you so much for helping me fund.
Great job.
He's Craig said you made a character that looks like me. You're a pisser. All right. So, thank you. I can't believe I funded already. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. So I asked him what I wanted, and then again, here is where Will comes in with the creative mind, putting the skulls on the belt like trophies, the veins coming up his belly, the webbing on his fingers, and then like the metal couplings on his feet. I told him to give him a flame sword. He made it a little like a scimitar, which was perfect. This is just awesome. I mean, the muscle tone on the arms where it's not over exaggerated, and it fits with the belly. It's exactly what I would want and more. So, kudos, Will. This is my favorite
Thanks.
illustration of them all, actually.
It's always tricky doing the reverse goat legs on characters. And you've got to be careful not to make them too top heavy because
Jeff was making the ball noises.
I was with it. I was getting right into it. I was like,
I'm sorry. I told you I'm still congested from my COVID infection.
I'm just
Jeff,
busting
I
your
just want to
chops.
see
We're
Rob.
glad you're better.
I reckon Rob Powers needs to get you on the sound effects for the withered.
Yeah,
the withered
really.
Yeah, you got to get me now though before this clears up, and then
We'll
it's
record
gone.
you later.
Get you in mid plague mode.
But the thing is,
It's,
the timing was perfect as we're talking about the gluttonous Lord Valier. JM is throwing.
This is why I had the mic muted. You're like, oh, you could say more, JM.
I love it.
No,
all I
we
need
don't
is
care,
I
dude.
need is some added cello sounds and Rob Powers doing the over narrative. We'll be right.
Dude, you're good, man. You're good. Really, clear your throat. Don't worry about it.
That's good.
And then we have now the Prince of Darkness. Now, here's the thing. I told Will I wanted more of a traditional, classic Lucifer, Satan. Okay, I didn't want the handsome portrayal that he's been in the last 50 times we've watched a show, like Lucifer, whatever. He's always this handsome, devilish guy. I didn't want him to be handsome and devilish like that. I wanted his charisma to be like an old-fashioned Clark Gable kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
And that's up Will's alley because Will is into that era of stuff. And Will, I love what he did with the armor, where on the one left shoulder is the horn, like the spike, and then he didn't have it on the other. And I told him, hey, have a cape go over just the right shoulder. And the way we're collaborating together is just no ego. It's equal. It's about the product. It's about the character design. It's not about either one of us getting credit. It was about us coming together to make something visually stunning. And then, he added, I love what he did with the abdominal part of the armor and the scaling, and he's holding the contract. It's just so cool. So
and sometimes we do it live together, so we just go through it.
Yeah, we do live stream. We do a live video chat, and we go over together, which I love that process.
Yeah.
And so Satan, and if you see, his armor is not drastically different in design than the angels. He was an angel. He's a fallen angel. He's the first of the fallen. And this is him before he gets angry. Okay. Now you're going to see Satan when he's angry. By the way, he does not want to be called Lucifer in the book because that was his former life when he was this beautiful angel. So this is him when he's angry. Look at that bad boy. Now, again, Will came up with the crown that's actually in his head, like bolted in his freaking head. The eyes on his chest. Look at that. Just fantastic. And then this. Look at the metal going into his skin. I mean, just self pain and torture, and then along his tail. Yeah, Kenny, right? Vincent Price laughter looking at it. Very cool. And then I asked him, what? Put a pitchfork in his hand, a weapon, and he did. And I said, make it fiery, and he did. And I gave him an idea of what I wanted the face to be, and he elaborated on that, and the horns, and just again working together, and just Will just really coming up with these little details that mean so much that Will came up with. And every time I see this crotch cover, I think of the bridge that fell in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. But that's okay. But it is cool.
Well, my wife calls it the xylophone. Why'd you put a xylophone there?
So someone walks up to him and goes, "Oh, you just gave me a great humorous idea in the book." Cherub will go up and go start playing it. Ding, 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 ding. So this is just friggin' phenomenal. So those are the character designs for the first book, the first issue of Withered, which is again, it's the first short story in this book, starting on page 3, Withered. By the way, Jeff came up with that font to make it look classy.
Well, I didn't develop the font. I didn't.
No, but you picked it and you went through it and you made my book look a little classier.
Well, like I was gonna go with a different font, but then I was trying to match what Will put for the front font
Rob
on
put
the
on
cover.
The front, right?
So I didn't have quite the same, but I tried to match as close.
No,
as
it's awesome. It looks just. I mean, again, there's things you don't realize with formatting. Coming off the page on this side, coming off the page on that side, right? Because you're gonna go along the spine. Things like that you don't think about, and the sizing of the letters and how many lines you put on there, and I mean, just professional. And I can't hold it. I never thought I would do this. And then look, I've got an author pick and a bio. I'm legit, yo. The only thing I regret is I wanted to make it a hardcover, but it's too cover because there's no spine. You can't do a spine on this thin. So that's the only thing I regret. But you know what would be cool? And Jeff's like, "Oh God, don't start." But what if I put all those character designs in the back of the book? It did an edition where it has all of Will's character designs in the back. That'd be cool.
See, I don't know if it would fill it up, but if you did like an omnibus, so it was the comic and the short story book with the designs, then you could get like a nice hardcover going. Yeah.
Well, that's
what I was thinking. Like as you were saying,
well, I was thinking as we got to the end of the story arc, issue 6, and I do a collected trade, I would add the short story and the designs. That would be awesome. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So where are we at with the campaign? I can't believe we funded already. I really thought I was gonna grind to the very end on this one. I'm really humbled. Thank you. And thank you, Will, because it was your tier and somebody wanting your art that did it.
Oh, my pleasure.
He said, "Oh snap! Bonus features on the DVD."
I know. I just saw that. That's why I was laughing.
I mean, wow. We funded. I don't know what to say. I know, Greg. Have faith. Look, my faith has always been in God and in myself, but I don't have faith in other things. I don't have faith in the world. But I should. I agree. I'm very humbled that we funded in how long? 30 minutes?
40 minutes. It was 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Wow. And my wife it was nice that my wife was paying attention. She was the one to tell me. Oh, sorry. Yes.
No, I thought everybody froze for a second. I was
no,
like,
I was answering my wife. But I mean, again, there are people that did the reading. They read the book, and please let everybody know. Share your thoughts on the book, and be honest. Be honest, because if you don't think it's all that good, then okay, be honest. I'm not telling you to lie. You know, we're gonna nickname Jeff Ball now.
You know, it's like I said, get the recording now before it clears up. Yeah.
So, Jeff, I
Right.
want to say first, if you're looking for an editor, Jeff also does comic books, by the way. If you're looking for an illustrator, an editor, a writer, a formatting, you need your book formatted. I mean, Jeff does it all, and
Yeah.
Jeff is for hire, an editor for hire, and I cannot recommend him enough. I'm very serious, and yes, Jeff. If I ever write another prose book, Jeff's my guy. And actually, with Philbo Publishing, I want to talk to you about being a freelance editor with Philbo Publishing. So, I highly recommend Jeff. He's a great human being, but he's very competent at what he does. So,
I
Jeff,
appreciate that.
tell us a little about yourself. Yeah, he script edits. He'll do everything. I'm telling you, he's great. So, tell
I
us
can
a little
also
about
do
yourself.
I can also do the art direction too, since I do
Yes.
the art stuff. Yeah. So yeah.
So, give us a little bit about yourself and what you're doing, and I'll pull up those websites too.
Oh, that's very kind of you. Yeah. So I mean, I do my own writing and art as well. Mostly on the indie scene nowadays, although, I've had some George, who's Jeff? See, I get that every now and then because some people find out my name is Jeff later, and then they're like, "Oh no, that's not right. Like, I gotta call him JM. He can't be Jeff." Like,
What's your middle name?
Michael, actually.
Oh, that's my middle name too.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Oh, I didn't know that. How about that? We just found
Jeff
out
Michael.
now.
Jeff Michael.
Yeah.
Jeff,
Jeffrey.
there was a comedian, Bob, what's his name, and he did this skit as a boxer who was punch drunk, and he goes, Jeff, what? It was hilarious. So it just makes me think of that. But anyway, so go ahead, tell us about you.
Oh yeah, so I'm a writer, artist. I do prose and comic books as far as the writing goes, and then for artwork, it's illustration and comics. I work all traditionally, so like Will, I do acrylic paintings, very different style though, and I do watercolors on my comic interiors.
Show
Anybody
us.
that knows my work
Yeah.
probably knows me best for Chadiana. All right, so I got the first two issues out right now. Yeah.
Yeah,
Actually,
I back that.
these are covers by other artists, right? Issue 1 has 3 stories in it. Oh, I'm flipping through the wrong one. How about that? Has 3 stories in it. The first one, which I wrote and illustrated. Okay. Second one, I wrote it, and a former student of mine, Dana Sanglier, had done the art on that.
Nice.
And the third one is by my good friend Jack or Jackie Musto. She's in the Massachusetts area. Met her up at
Nice.
Pro Wrestler name. That's nice. She's up in the
Yeah, I was gonna say
Boston
that
area.
later.
Yeah, and she, she's been wanting to work with me for a while, and I've been wanting to work with her. She actually illustrated the interiors on issue 2, so.
Very nice.
Right. Corey Breen was the artist on this, who has done post-production work. I mean, the cover artist. On this, he's also the one that designed the. Sorry, I got to remember my lefts and rights on these cameras. He designed the Chadiana logo. So,
Nice.
yeah, he's a great guy. He used to work for. I'm pretty sure it was DC doing post-production. Hey, thanks, Kenny. Nice to know you've seen them. Yeah, like I said, I do prose writing as well. I have my novella, Robert Phillips, which was, my first
Tell us a little
foray
about
into.
it. Tell us a little about them. You can promote yourself, buddy.
Oh yeah, well, I'm trying to, this is your launch thing. I'm trying not to be too much. So anyway, yeah, all right. So quickly, Chadiana is a wandering swordswoman. Takes place in a fictional India or Middle Eastern setting. because I didn't want to base it on. It's based on real life cultures, but it's more like Middle Earth and Hyperborea. Well, I would kind of relate her to Red Sonja if you want like a point of reference, right? She just gets on these adventures and wanders around this like I said, dark fantasy landscape, but it's more based on South Asian and Middle Eastern cultures. Robert Phillips is just it's a Lovecraftian novella about two good friends, and one of them gets interested in retranslating the Necronomicon, which is H.P. Lovecraft's infamous fake book and a lot of his short stories. And there's some kind of references to mental illness in the book as well. So it's a little bit of is the title character Robert Phillips actually going crazy, or is it the book itself? And
so that's perfect for Greg. He can relate.
Yeah. So it's nice. It really highlights the two characters and their friendships. It touches on some mental illness stuff, and then it's just a cool horror story as well. I would say actually, even though Chadiana is the comic, it's probably more for adults, whereas Robert Phillips probably could be more of an all ages book. So well, not all ages like kids, but teenagers could probably read it without anybody worrying about what content was in the book, right? But that's my two main things. And then of course I've got Darkfire Press, which is my publishing company, which George Medina, who's down here in the comments, that's so that links for all the Chadiana books that are there and coming. The next one I illustrated, which was originally going to be number 2, but I moved it to number 3. And our good friend Chris Campana did the cover for number 3.
Very cool.
Yeah, but George
is a hell of an artist and an awesome dude. I have to head out, my friends, but much luck to the book, Phil. Thank you. You deserve it, bro. Keep hustling, man, and can't wait to read the prose book. Thank you so much, George.
I saw you guys. I kind of saw you guys and overheard a little bit of you guys talking at Terrificon about the book when he was there. So, because I remember he was interested in it, he sounded very interested, George. But he did Wonder Duck, which is right there on the sidebar. George is the writer of Wonder Duck.
Up here and here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what, by the way, I backed that. It's a fun superhero tale for George, Wonder Duck. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I think him and Darkfire Press in general have had good success with it, because it's just it's another one of those all ages things. It's fun. It's kind of quirky with the whole duck thing, but I enjoyed it. It was one of those things where I knew George before, so I agreed to publish it before I had read it. But then when I read it, I was like, oh, this actually is good. So worked out. yeah, right. But I think it's a good book. It's worth looking at as well. I hope you check out the Chadiana series too. Yeah.
That actually reminds me of my wife. When she read my first script, she was so relieved that it didn't suck, because she wouldn't know how to lie to me.
Right.
Yeah, so I mean, just to show you the website, you got the home: fiction, comics, children's, art books, creators. He has content for everybody. It's nice and easy to navigate and get you where you got to go. Of course, Chadiana has his baby here.
Right. Yeah.
And he publishes other people's. So I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I was just going to say, I'm still looking to, right now, all the links on the site go out to third-party sellers, but I'm looking into finally getting a store front for the site. So ship direct from Darkfire Press. But, when you have as many job titles as I do,
but you know what?
It's hard to keep up with.
I'm telling you though, he doesn't disappoint no matter which discipline he's utilizing. By the way, Rally, what's going on? Rally said hi. Thanks for coming out. I hope the gym is treating you well, Rally. Rally's been working hard in the gym, working out, getting in shape, and he's really putting in the effort. So good for you, buddy.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
Do you want to go to jmdesantis.com?
Yeah, I feel like that's enough about me. We got to get more on Will.
Will will have his moment. Don't worry, and then he'll just be a blowhard for 5 hours.
I'm just the editor. I'm the background guy that nobody pays attention to on this. But yeah.
But you know what? You may be the guy that nobody gives the glory to, but you're the guy is the reason why the book is there. Period.
I appreciate that, but you had to write it for it even to exist.
But I didn't write it as well as it's presenting in this book if it wasn't for you. And you format it, it wouldn't be created. It would be on my computer. It wouldn't be a physical manifestation if not for you. And Will, who, I mean, again, the cover is just perfect. It's beautiful.
Well, I was very surprised by that when I was laying out the cover, and you're like, "Hang on, Will says he's going to do a painting for the back as well." I was like, "All right, whatever Will wants to do." If he wants to paint an extra painting, but it really
I
looks
wasn't
nice.
going to ask him to do that because my budgets are tight too, and he's like, "Oh no,
Right.
you got to do it." Will's a perfectionist in a
No,
good
it's
way.
nice. It makes the book look better because it would have just been like a repeat image on the back.
Right.
So I appreciate it, and it's nice painting, though it really is. I was I was laughing to myself and just thinking, all right, you know, if you want, that's what he wants to do. You know?
I just didn't want to ask him for it because if I can't pay, I'm not gonna do that to an artist. I don't take advantage of people. And Will was like, "Oh, shut up, we'll work it out, but you got to do this because it's So,
Yeah.
But I know you're trying to segue because you're a kind man. But I promise we're gonna get to Will and then wrap it up. But as far as here, we've got merch you're selling, books and comics. So I mean, there's merchandise.
Yeah, so I have a Redbubble store right now, but again, it's another thing that I would like to get going, a storefront, like an actual storefront for my site. So yeah, I still third party through
Right.
Redbubble all my merchandise, and you know I'm always at shows. I got like a pretty robust schedule coming up for next year. So um, yeah, so that one's the outgoing link to the store. But
Become a member, get 20% off your first order.
how about that? How about that? I was doing well with the masks. I designed a lot of like masks when the pandemic first hit. So, but yeah, if you go through those top links, you start scrolling through all of Redbubble. But if you go down, no, well, now you'll go through like all their stuff. That's not just my store then. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go back.
Yeah, that's all of Redbubble. Yeah. Yeah, so you got to like scroll down through all the stuff, but you know, I got mugs, stickers, notebooks, t-shirts. Yeah. So anything you click on, you get like the other designs. Yeah. Well, again, that's just the merch site. The main website, right? Is just it's got my portfolio. It has writing samples in there, my about page. You go to the convention list, you can see where I'm going to be already next year. It's down on the sidebar, conventions and appearances, up toward the top now. But yeah, you did. I know there's a lot of content there. Up, above the books.
Yeah. Oh, here we go.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, cool. You are doing Garden State Comic Fest. Okay.
Yeah, I'll be there. I'm doing the Morristown one too. There's two other shows.
I was gonna say Terrificon. Yeah.
Yeah, I think next Tuesday is when they open tables for that.
Were you at Baltimore this year?
No, I skipped it this year. I didn't like the weekend
because I was there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I didn't do it this weekend, but I already reached out to Chris McClelland about it, so as long as I get the application in time, I'll be there next year. So, but that one's in September.
Yeah, being a Terrificon.
Yeah, I would love to be there too. So, and I just got hit up for something.
Get you for signings.
Yeah. No, I feel like we're going off the rails here, but yeah, if you want to catch up with me at any of those events, I always keep a updated list there on the site. So yeah, that's
Very
my
cool.
main website. So if you want to contact me for commission work or any of the writing or art or editing work or book layouts, you go through jmdesantis.com. That's how you get me directly.
Guys, I'm very serious about this. If you need an editor, you need a book, your book laid out and formatted. You need art direction. You need an artist. He's your guy. He's your guy. He's really multifaceted and talented. And or if you just want to read some good content, he's got all types of stuff: kid stuff, adult stuff, darker stuff. When are you coming out with the booby book though?
I'm not I know it would be good money, but I don't know.
I'm not doing
it's
it
not
either.
my thing.
If
It's just-
if I showed some cleavage on tragedy, watch me do $35,000 in a second. But I just
Well,
won't
that's
do
the
it.
thing. I've had a couple of friends of mine just be like, why don't you just kind of sex up Chadiana and have her in some more poses that'll and I'm just like,
Right.
yeah, but that's not what I'm trying to do with the book.
Exactly.
It's
Exactly.
yeah, it's not the point.
I agree. Hey,
yeah.
Will.
Yeah.
Look at what's on the screen.
Indeed.
So I'm sorry, Jay. Yeah, Jeff.
No, it's okay. It's okay. No, I feel like I'm talking too much now. That's what always happens.
No, you're fine, dude.
Yeah.
I wanted you to come on and promote yourself. I do a lot of talking myself. So look, we have to.
I appreciate it, but
We have
I'm
to.
very happy that this is getting to launch. And I'm the one, I dragged the editing took longer than it should have. But then I was the one that advised you to do a Christmas time release,
Listen, things happen exactly how they're supposed to. Period.
Yeah,
And this did. So I'm grateful for that. Riley, thank you so much for backing as well. What do we got? And he said if he gets more Will, he wants to get a Will Pleydon commission. Wow, man!
Jay, I'm just thinking what you were saying.
We may hit that first bookmark.
I was just thinking about what you guys are saying about the booby books
guys.
and stuff. There's a market for that, sure, but not all of us want to go to a convention and buy those books. I mean, I want to buy books like Chadiana, and I want to buy books like Withered, and I want to buy books like The Dynamics. I don't want to buy those other books. I mean, there's got to be the variation, sure, but yeah,
Right.
I'd rather see what you guys are doing. Much rather than the other stuff.
Those books are big on the Kickstarter scene, So.
And
I mean,
you're-
more power to them.
I think we all know people that do them, so no hate on them. I'm not,
No,
it's
not
just
at
not.
all.
It's not what I go in
know,
for.
But you know what? I do know this. If I was ever to do a booby book campaign, one of the stretch goals is going to be a blacklight.
What?
That's all I'm saying.
Oh,
That'll be a stretch goal. A little mini blacklight for everybody. So, you can trace your steps.
You remind yourself how bad you've been.
It's a secret map.
Yeah.
How about just a little statue of a dog that can sit and judge you while you look at the book?
It does that all the time.
And he'll be like, and he'll have a sign around his neck that says, "You'll shoot your eye out, kid."
Yeah.
Oh God.
All right, so Will,
Yes.
we talked, about Withered, which you have coming up with me.
Yep.
I don't know if we have permission to talk about the two other books you're on, so we probably shouldn't.
Yes.
But tell us, Legendary Portraits. What do you got going on, Will? Besides, and we'll get to tomorrow night's show.
Yeah, lots and lots and lots. It feels like there's more to do than hours in a day at the moment, but that's okay because I like to stay busy. At the moment, I am juggling that other book with Nandor and doing the Withered sequentials. Today, I've got the Withered sequentials in front of me. That's what I've been doing while we've been on the call. So I've been chipping through those. Legendary Portraits were in season 2, and I am filming some of the process videos on how I've been painting them. So you might have seen some of those come up as shorts on YouTube, but the actual process video of me talking how I mix my paints, how I apply it, my thought processes, all of that's going to go up on YouTube very soon. So it's just the Art of Will Pleydon. If you want to jump on and subscribe, you can do that. And we have our live stream art show. So we're doing the Kenny and I, Hazar Kenny is doing the Thundercats, and I'm working on Hanna-Barbera at the moment. So we're changing themes up every few weeks and hopefully getting to the point where we release a Kickstarter book with all of our artworks in them ready to go. And that's the end goal for the Legendary Portraits too, is that, yes, we'll sell the originals as we do with our live show with you, Philip, and then eventually get to a hardcover book, which will be the prime icing on the cake, I think.
That's going to be a beautiful book. I mean, we're really going to go all out on that one.
Yeah. So I can show you Dr. Doom. That's the one I've been working on at the moment.
Yeah, show us.
For
I'm going
Legendary
to put you as the main screen for the moment.
I don't know how light it is. Hang on. Let me see if I can get this other light going. It's a bit dark.
Man, you sensitive types.
There we go.
Oh, nice.
There we go.
Yeah.
So I've just done the eyes. We're just putting the eyes down. We're working through the other areas. So
just wait until
eventually.
Yeah,
I'll
it's
move
cool.
the camera. The camera might be easier for me. That. There we are.
Yeah. Oh, look at that. That's
Anyway, so
beautiful.
that's that one. We've got a whole bunch of different ones coming out this series. So everything from Kingdom Come Superman to the Flash to Tiger from the Thundercats. There's a whole bunch of different ones. So so lots of exciting things happening, and then we've got the Legendary Illustrations book that we've just finished on Kickstarter, and we've got the commission tier from that to do as well. So there's lots and lots on the pipeline.
Yeah, man. Yes, sir. Can you show us what's on the board?
I can. That's up to you. You're the.
Yeah, let's do it.
I don't want to. All right, so I might just flip it over. So that's what we're working on at the moment. So.
Oh, hey, look at all this.
So these are the two of the main archangels talking and conversing in
Michael and
their
Joshua.
Yes, in their palace or castle, and very classical sort of architecture will be in the background. This scene, Philip and I discussing and maybe just having one panel in here painted in the background as a very classical sort of Sistine Chapel style painting in the background, but then having these as comic inked and coloured on the front. So just something a little bit different. But that's what I've been working on while we've been on the live stream.
And just so you know, there are some really great action sequences in this book. You know, between sword play and aerial combat and really cool stuff.
And of course, I just based all mine on thumbnails, and we go from the thumbnail screens right through to the page. So there you go. So that's the page there that I'm working on in thumbnail form, and then that goes to that page there.
Man, I'm excited for this. And then when he throws inks on this, and then again, if we can get Alex to color it, Alex said he's in as long as his schedule will permit it. So Alex Sinclair colors over Will Pleydon's art is just going to be freaking brilliant. Exciting.
That's exciting.
Listen, there's a lot of you all, the people that are still with us right now, you all know me fairly well to know that when I do something, I do it 1,000%, not 100%, 1,000%, and I do it the best I can, and I try to do it the most integrity possible. Am I perfect? No, but I try, right? I try. Trust me when I tell you, Philbo Publishing is going to have a really great year. There are some announcements I can't make right now, but they're going to be big, and they involve major Marvel and DC people. They, major industry talent. Um, the guys that I represent are going to really be shining this year. I'm telling you now, I'm not saying this as a marketing ploy. It's the last thing I do. They're going to be household names. So don't make hindsight be your enemy. Join in now and get art from these guys because you're going to regret not being on the ground floor. I'm serious. I mean, if we all knew what was going to happen with Todd McFarlane, we would have all bought up those pages a long time ago. So I'm just telling you, bet on this horse. It's a winning horse, and we've got some awesome jockeys. So I'm just saying, I'm very proud and appreciative of the guys I work with, the team I have, Legendary Illustrations. The books I'm putting out, I promise you, are of the highest quality possible. They're entertaining. I mean, when Peter David, who I hope is doing better, by the way, with his health, when Peter David, Chuck Dixon, and Howard Mackey say that I can write, that my writing is good in comics, that is something that as a kid I would have never imagined would be a reality. I mean, it's like being a musician, and the three of the top musicians you ever looked up to said, "Dude, you can play."
Yeah.
I mean, you can shred or whatever. It's crazy to think that Filbo Publishing has already published people like Will Spartasio and Ian Churchill and Larry Stroman and Sean Chen, and Tyler Kirkham. And man, I wish I could throw that name out, Will. Will knows who I'm talking about. Man, I wish I could name him. I wish I could say who this artist is. The cover is a guaranteed in, but I don't like to announce until I have a cover in hand or presented to me. But trust me to tell you, this is a big, big grab. This is a big grab for Filbo. I have other things I can't announce that are in the works. I work tirelessly day in and day out. Because I want this to happen. And I want it to happen for me, for my family, for the guys that I work with, and the people I work with. And I want it to happen for people that really want to look forward to reading comics. I know there are a lot of people that they don't anymore. It's kind of been taken, they feel it's been taken from them. I'm not here to get into any debate or politics about it. But I know there are people that feel that way, that lost that enthusiasm, excitement for comics. I'm not saying I'm the one who's going to bring it back, but I want to be part of that revolution. I want to be part of what brings back comics that resonate with you, that you can enjoy and appreciate. If you know what my opinions are on any subject when I write my comics, I failed you as a writer. I say that all the time. I'm not here to use my comic as a pulpit or a preacher's stand or a megaphone. I just want to give you good stories with characters that are human, that you can relate to and walk away and go, I love that character because that's how I feel. I mean, I've had people come up to me and tell me that they really relate to Breath of the Dragon in Tragedy a lot. And they were really invested in his character and his storyline. I've had people tell me they really relate to Tragedy. I've had people that read Withered and read this prose book in my hand and told me they can relate. I've had people feel very emotional about this book. It really choked them up. I'm not going to tell you I'm a great writer or I'm a bad writer. I don't think it's my place because it's all subjective. What I'm going to tell you is I challenge you, I double, triple dog dare you to go find out if I'm a good writer or not. You can't say I am or I'm not until you buy something, read it, really give it a chance, and get back to me. Whether it's this or one of my comic books, I ask you, give Filbo Publishing a try. You might be surprised. You might walk away with something that's one of your favorite things to read, or something that's on your pull list that you're excited about. Ruth Lucas said to me, it was probably the greatest compliment, that my book was her favorite book, that she cannot wait for it to come out because she's so invested in the characters, and not just the main characters, but I flesh out everybody, and she loves some of the back characters and wants to see where it goes. And she said that she usually can guess where stories go, and she can't with me. I keep surprising her. So I'm not saying that. I'm just telling you what people are saying. If Peter David, who is a very honest man, and if he thought it was crap, would say it's crap, and Chuck Dixon and Howard Mackey can tell you that my comics are written well, what's stopping you from giving it a try? That's all I'm saying.
You got
And
everything to gain by reading it.
it's a small investment, guys. We throw away money on worse. You spend $8 on a cup of coffee at Starbucks, they spell your name wrong, and you pee it out in 20 minutes. I mean, really. I ask you, whether it's Filbo Publishing or it's Chadayana or Darkfire Press, if you could forego one Happy Meal or one coffee a month, just a month, that $8 to $10, and go pick something from Jeff or myself or another indie creator, you are helping.
Don't leave Will out. I mean,
well,
don't leave Will out.
Will's not writing anything. His art is more than $10. You are not only helping us with our dreams, make them come true. You are helping us hire other people and help their dreams come true. It's a domino effect, a butterfly effect, whatever you want to call it. Because when you invest in Jeff can then invest that money into another artist, an editor, a logo designer, a colorist, an inker, or producing more books that you can enjoy. And it's this domino effect. If you want the indie industry to be able to produce high quality work that rivals the big publishers, we need to invest in it. We need capital. We need money to fluctuate and circulate in the indie scene like you would in any other business, any other industry. So for those of you that do that, thank you so much. For those of you that can't, but you share out and you help that way, thank you so much. One cup of coffee a month, you could buy a digital comic from somebody and read it. That's the other thing. Don't just buy it and put it in a pile. Read it. Don't just get the email and the digital and put it away. Read it. You could be missing something great. We didn't know Stranger Things was going to be this awesome thing until you actually clicked on it and gave it a shot. You got to give us a shot. We won't disappoint you. Give us a shot. That's my spiel. We're going to wrap this up because I don't want to bore everybody. I can't believe we funded in 40 minutes. I mean, thank you so much to everyone that pledged. And if Kenny didn't pledge, you suck. But I'm just kidding.
I think everybody that was on the stream pledged,
Probably. Yeah, I mean, we have 15 backers, $604. We are literally we're $146 away from the first stretch goal. And I honestly thought we were going to grind this out for 20 days and that I'd be lucky if I made to have $520 by the end. I really thought that. So thank you. And I hope that everyone who gets this reads it. It's a short read. You taking a crap? Go read it.
Yeah.
While you're on the crapper, go read it. Get off
Could do
your
a
phone
story
and read
every set.
These short stories, I crap for a half hour. Are you kidding me? I'll probably get through this book in one crap.
Oh, well, I mean,
my legs go
that's
numb.
the way you do it. I get it,
My legs go numb checking all my emails.
I've tried to stop doing that. Right? I've tried to stop doing that for that reason,
It's the only time in this household with a 10, 8-year-old, my mom, everybody, it's the only time you get, I don't even get peace and quiet there. It's, Daddy. I'm like, Daddy's crapping. Leave me alone.
I've got to focus.
I need it, Daddy. Grandma's in the other one, Daddy. It's kind of like she's like, Daddy. And then there's the cat with the paw under the door. It's like, oh my God.
Oh yeah, well that's what I get. I'm surprised she hasn't been up here. My cat Cirilla, when I'm at the drafting desk too long, she'll jump up on it, get all over the paintings.
What is it about papers and computers? These cats love to just be all over when you're.
Yeah. Well, also whenever I'm talking to a screen, she always thinks like it must be her, so she starts coming over.
The attention isn't on her. That's the problem.
Right. Yeah.
Funny.
Well, I want to say thanks, guys, for coming on. Will, it's always a pleasure talking with you. It's a pleasure repping you. It's a pleasure working with you and watching you create and make things come to life, whether they're mine or other people's. Your work is top notch, phenomenal. And for all of you who aren't on the Will train yet, you better jump aboard.
I appreciate that.
He's doing nice work. I see the stuff coming through my feed every now and then, and whatever you've brought to a convention, it's good stuff.
I appreciate that, fellas. Thank you.
Yeah.
Will's middle name should be the neck breaker, because every time somebody walks by the table and they see his portraits, they turn quick and snap back like, oh, look at that neck breaker.
The neck breaker. That's my wrestling name.
Yeah, there you go. We got to come up with wrestling names for everybody. As far as Jeff Michael Desantis, I'm very sincere when I say I'm glad to have met you and befriended you, but I'm also grateful for your editing skills, your formatting skills, the knowledge and wisdom you brought to me, and what you taught me, and you helped me. And even on those days where you weren't feeling patient, you stayed patient.
That's what a professional does. You have to do that. Yeah.
But the biggest thing for me was you were, in a good way, straightforward, hard with what needed to be fixed, what you could recommend to be fixed without being forceful, and you had no ego. There were some things that he recommended that, to be honest with you, he wasn't wrong about. It's just not where I wanted to go.
Yeah, that was fine.
He didn't care. It's not like he didn't have an ego thing like, well, you need to listen to me. I'm the editor. He doesn't act
like, do you know who I am?
Yeah, do you know who I am? I'm J.M. Desantis.
Have you seen
I'm the Intercontinental Champ. What you gonna do, brother?
Right. All right. Well, yeah, I mean,
go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, at the end of the day, it's your story. Like, I mean, I'm trying to help you get it better. That's it.
And you did,
yeah.
and that's the key. Not only does he try to help you, it's another person with no ego. It's about putting out a professional level product. That's what it's about. That he helped me get better. He really did help me be better at this, and it's a better book because of him. Hire him, and he's very affordable.
Kind.
It's true, and just think about this. If he is this meticulous and talented with his editing, what do you think his books are? What do you think his comic book is? What do you think his creative projects are? Go support him, buy his stuff, give him a shot.
It's very nice. I'm starting to sweat now, though.
No, look, everybody knows me. I push hard if I really believe in it. And I believe in you, Jeff. I believe in your capabilities, your talent. And I'm telling you, he is your guy to edit. He will not steer you wrong. He will give you suggestions. He will work with you. Even his working system is easy to navigate. I don't feel I have to circumvent something because I don't understand it, or I have to, figure this out. He's very straightforward. It's very easy to work with him. He helps you. He sends you back your entire manuscript with highlights, explanations in right there with it, in his type, in his bold, as to what he either recommends or why he even tells you why you should change something, which is the most important thing. Knowledge is power. It's a tool. So when he would say, this doesn't work, he would say, for this reason. And he might even point to something 2 paragraphs later that makes something look inconsistent. He is a pro. He will edit your book. You gotta hire him. Anyway.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah. What's that?
You guys are awesome. I appreciate you.
Well, thanks so much, Phil. It's been a pleasure, working on this.
And he'll provide demon sound effects anytime you want.
He'll be Ball in the animated series when he gets picked up.
Don't forget, it is
Telling
Dark
you.
Fire Press.
Right. Well, you you got to get me in the voice booth now before this, like I said, before this clears up and it comes.
We'll just have you lick. We'll have you lick a bathroom mirror or something, and we'll get your voice back. lick the toilet handle. There you go.
Oh God.
Thanks, Joe, for the congratulations. Yeah, Greg is intent on having me have an angel rip out the spine of a demon. Yeah, that's not how the angels work. But anyway,
could go the other way. It's really nice. It's cool visual. I like it.
Dude, there's some visuals that I came up with that Will is gonna make look stunning that are just so majestic and cool. I'm into that stuff, man. I'm a corny guy. I love the Lord of the Rings, and I love the Rocky, and I love Star Wars, and I love real heroes and redemption, and I love, your chin is up and your chest is out in the face of adversity. You're exhausted, but you're still standing there brave, going, "What else you got?" Like the first Captain America movie, right? I can do this all day.
Yeah.
Picks himself up. I can do this all day. That's my hero. That's what I look at, and that's how I write. So if you like those heroes, if you like to be inspired, if you like to cheer and root for characters, you'll like my stuff. That's what I write. And if you don't, then go pick up something from somebody who writes what you like, but support them.
Yeah. Good advice.
All right. Devil is in the Details. Cover by Will Pleydon. Logo design by Rob Powers. Edited and formatted, laid out, however you want to call it, by J.M. Desantis of Dark Fire Press. Go check out Chadiana and Robert Smith, is it?
Robert Phillips.
I'm sorry. Phillips, what an idiot.
Yeah.
Philip, there you go. My name, Robert Phillips, as well as Wonder Duck by George Medina, and all the other things on darkfirepress.com or jmdesantis.com. Go check out both. Go to Art of Will Pleydon. Go check out what Will's doing. If you want a commission from Will, it might take a little time. He's busy, but you contact me and we will hook you up with whatever you want. And
follow him on Instagram too.
Yeah. Go ahead, shout it out. Shout out all your social media.
So it's Art of Will Pleydon is on all of them. So it's the same search for Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, even Twitter. But TikTok, I don't do Snapchat. I drew the line. I couldn't. You spend 3 hours putting an update up. So I had to draw the line somewhere. But if you look at those, follow me along those. The Art of Will Pleydon page on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube has the process videos that I put on there. So I do step by steps, and you see updates as I go, and videos, all that kind of stuff.
Cool. All right. That reminds me of one more thing. Before we wrap up, and I give you one last pitch in the Kickstarter, Philbo Publishing, I want to try to help the community. I'm doing a writer's contest. This contest is specifically for new writers that have not started a project. Maybe you were afraid to. Maybe you were intimidated on the process or how to. Maybe you felt, what's the sense, nobody's going to buy it. This contest will help you. It'll get you in front of about 300 backers and start you off strong. And I can help you along the way. It's also for people that maybe had a Kickstarter that was underwhelming for them. Maybe they only had 40 backers and like a $1,200 thing, or they didn't meet their goal. This contest is for you. All right. The details are on my page. I'm not going to reiterate it now, but I promise you, if you have questions, you reach out to me. I'll answer them. It is a good opportunity for a new writer. It might even spark a fire under your butt that's been, burning for a while. There's no greater frustration than having a creative mind and not exercising it. So if you're feeling that, join this contest, get that fire sparked, and get moving, because we're not guaranteed 3 seconds from now. So make it count. And appreciate the people you're with. appreciate the people you work with, appreciate the things they do for you, as I appreciate all of you for getting me funded in 40 minutes. God bless you all. Thank you. I really appreciate you. All right. All right. So the Kickstarter has funded in 40 minutes, thanks to you wonderful human beings. Can we get to the first stretch goal, which is at 750? Can we do that? We got 20 days, 15 backers. Can we get to 40 or 50 backers on this campaign? I would be shocked, but I would be forever grateful. And again, we got 3 more spots for Will Pleydon's original art. Only 3. And I guarantee you, I know another person that definitely is going to get his tier. So you're going to be down to 2. So don't wait. It's well worth it. The man is brilliant, and he's got 15 illegitimate kids to feed. So, child support's tough, man. So you got his wrestling career.
I'm an overachiever.
All right, and so please do that. All right, so $604.50. Again, you can have samples on the page to read and scoop out and get an idea. I'll answer any questions. If you don't know how Kickstarter works, reach out to me. I'll help you. Remember, they do not collect your money until the 20-day campaign is over. There is no need to wait unless somehow you don't get paid in 20 days. It's a $12 book. All right? You can pledge now and not have to worry about it. Or just get the digital for $10. Or a Will Pleydon tier for $250. All right?
How far
Thanks
are we
again.
off from the stretch goal, Philip?
$146.
Oh, that's a hiccup. You'll be there before you know it.
Dude, one pledge on your art, and boom, we're there. You get a free bookmark, and we're on our way. These are the stretch goals, just to show you.
Is that the metal one, or is it the paper one to start with?
No, 750 is the card. 1500 is the metal. I mean, if honestly,
got to get to the.
I don't know what to expect. I don't know what to expect at this point. I really don't. I didn't think we'd get to 750. Now I think we could. I'm humbled and I'm overwhelmed in a good way, and I'm very, very grateful. Look, I'm sure some people look at me and they think maybe I'm full of shit and this is an act. It really isn't. I grew up in a life where I didn't get support. I was beaten down a lot, physically, mentally, emotionally. I was told I'd been worth nothing, or I was treated like I didn't exist. So please know that the love and the support that I've gotten from the community, it really does mean a lot to me. It matters. This isn't fake. Yeah. I mean, my wife will tell you, I'm a big softie. As much as I'll throw fists, I'm a big softie. And I know that your money is earned at a job you probably don't like, or just working hard, and it can go anywhere. There are millions of other options. And for you to spend even $1 or a moment of your time on my creations, it means a lot, and I'm grateful to you. So thank you. I really appreciate it. And you guys are awesome. Thank you for making this happen. All right.
Our pleasure.
On that note,
of course.
On that note, we're going to wrap it up. I'm not going to torture you with Will ending it, but maybe we'll have Jeff do it for once. Jeff probably doesn't know my endings, so I usually say be legendary and then have fun storming the castle. Remember? I don't know if you know that.
I've heard the be legendary part. Really?
And I go, have fun storming the castle. That's saying goodbye, like Billy Crystal in The Princess Bride.
Oh, right. Oh, yeah. Okay, right.
So, okay, but you have to sound Jewish, not like this weirdo clown over here. Sounds like
I don't know. I don't know that I'm gonna do an impression, but I could end it for you. Yeah. So finally, Cirilla comes up, right? Here we go. Well, be legendary and have fun storming the castle.
All right. Later.